So when you left the wholesale into like your own entrepreneurial venture, were you nervous? Were there people saying don't do it? Did you just know you saw the light at the end of the tunnel? What was your thought process for that?
I went into it. I won't say totally blind. I mean, I'd watched other people do it, but you never know how it's going to turn out. And, you just got to go out there. And I did not even take a loan. I financed it all myself. And I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with advertising and sponsoring things because I want to get my name out there. Now, I was building a brand, and now I've built a brand. Now I'm trying to unbuild it. I'm trying to retire. But I tried everything. I would say a lot of things didn't work, but I threw a lot of stuff up against the wall, and it all worked out. I even took out ads in airline magazines. I had TV commercials. It was crazy, some of the money I spent. But you know what? All in all, it all worked.
Yeah. And so when you were spending money, what was it on the book, on a speaking fee? What were you? How did you start?
I was a sponsor of NAFA. I was a sponsor of Gamma. I mean, those are $30,000-$40,000 a year sponsorships that came out of my pocket. I ran, I hired some telemarketers. I did TV commercials. That cost money. Airtime cost money. I did magazine advertisements. Of course, I did Facebook, LinkedIn. I was just doing a lot of different things. I was spending, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in those first couple of years, just starting to try to build a brand. But, I had already spoken, main platform, top of the table, main platform, NAFA, main platform at MDRT. And so I was a known entity out there in the retirement income space, but, it was still very early on. And there was definitely risk, but I'm glad I took the risk because it paid off handsomely.
Cheers to entrepreneurial desire. So when you're the book that I'm familiar with, Paychecks and Playchecks, is that your biggest book so far?
Well, I mean, that was my first book. The Don't Worry, Retire Happy probably sold more now because this was a PBS TV special that played in 80 million homes in the US and Canada. So that went crazy, in those years. But they both been very, very successful. Retirement Income Master, Secrets of the Pros, that's for advisors. So, it's got a more limited market. I've also got 2 books in Canada that, Canada's a limited market as well. And then, my latest book, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? This is for young people. This is for Generation X, Y, Z, millennials, on how to build wealth. And I teach people how simple it is to become a millionaire in America today. Not easy, but simple. And there's a simple formula for that, just like there's a simple formula to retire. And most people don't know the simple formula. So that's all I do.
Yeah. I mean, you have people out there selling $10,000 courses on how to get rich or how to do X, Y, Z. And, I saw one thing, you see this all the time. People will sell a course, or their post will be, I make $2 million, or I made $1 million last year in my coaching business. Click here to learn how. Well, they're going to make another $1 million or $2 million teaching people how they only made $1 million.
Yeah. No,
and then you have coaches selling coaches, and it's this massive, everybody's just paying each other, and it's going in a whirlwind, and I don't even know where the value is in that. And when you can bring in science to a speculative profession like financial planning, because most of the time when people are working, they don't pay attention to the market. They're not watching the 401k. They might look, it went up, and they get happy like your buddy golfing, but they don't know how it's going to end up. And they wait too long to actually figure out how to create that income when they actually get to retirement.
And when you're younger, you can get your life insurance a lot more inexpensive, your long-term care insurance more inexpensive. And those are all things that you're going to need to have in retirement. And for all the people who say you don't need life insurance in retirement, they don't understand what they're talking about. I've been moving more of my personal wealth to cash value life insurance. My annual premium is $226,000 a year. I'm serious about moving money to life insurance. Now, people who think life insurance is an expense, they'd say, well, that's stupid. Why would you do that? But see, I know it's not an expense. It's an asset on my balance sheet. And every single penny I put in that policy, plus a lot more, is in there. And it just keeps growing, and it's all growing. And I can take that money out tax-free. And I always tell people, if you want a lot of money tax-free in retirement, you got to put some money in there. You're not going to get there with $1,000 a year, and then you want, I want $30,000 a year tax-free. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay. Unless you start when you're a baby. You got to put some money in if you want to take a lot of money out. And I want to take a lot of tax-free money out. And so I put money in. And then another reason some people don't enjoy their retirement is because they think they got to leave some money to their kids. Oh, we got to leave some money to Johnny and Susie. So they deny themselves retirement to leave money to their kids. I tell people all the time, don't leave any money to your kids. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to spend all your money. Leave them life insurance because you can do that for pennies on the dollar. And I use me as an example. We got 4 kids. And so one day we're sitting around saying, how much should we leave the kids? My wife said, I don't know. What do you think? I said, well, if we bought a $1 million second to die life insurance policy, name the 4 kids as beneficiary. When we're both gone, they're going to get $1 million tax free. That's $250,000 a piece tax free plus whatever's left over. I said, let's start there. So we bought a $1 million second to die life insurance policy, name the 4 kids beneficiary. That policy is completely paid up. Do you know what that total cost, that $1 million policy was? $150,000. So think about that. For 15 cents on the dollar, we transfer $1 million tax free to our kids. But here's the best part. Who gets to spend the other $850,000? We do. So, people think they want to leave their kids some money. Just ask your insurance advisor to run a life insurance illustration for that amount, and you can do that for pennies on the dollar.
And when you say you can spend the other $850, you mean the $850 that is out of the policy that's in your other assets?
No, but if we were going to give our kids, let's say instead we're going to give our kids $1 million. Yep. Okay, that's $1 million of our cash we gave to the kids when we die or whatever. But that means we didn't get to spend that other $850,000. If we just took $150 of that, we can buy a policy to go to the kids, and then we spend the other $850,000 instead of giving that to the kids.
Yeah, I love it. I used to joke that I'm so cheap, I'm not going to leave my family any of my money. I'm going to let the insurance company pay them, not me.
Yeah.
And the fun part is we don't know when we expire, right?
Right.
I could expire tomorrow. I could expire when I'm 90. So if I expire when I'm 90, they might not get as much, but you better believe we're going to have insurance that's going to subsidize that because I want to enjoy life if I live a long, healthy life.
Plus, you'd have probably given them some gifts all those years, and then it would have probably wound up to be very similar. I mean, I just don't understand why people don't want to use these tools that can allow them to have a better retirement, because in their mind, they think, oh, annuities are bad, or life insurance is bad, or long-term care. Look, and I'm 70% retired, just so you know. I'm not just talking the talk. I'm walking the walk. I own 13 annuities. I got millions of cash value in my life insurance policy. I have full unlimited benefit long-term care plans. I'm not just talking this. I live this every day. I play golf 4 to 5 days a week. I play pickleball 2 days a week. My wife and I went on a Panama Canal cruise. We went on a Mediterranean cruise for our 40th anniversary. We just got back from a Caribbean cruise. We're leaving this fall for a Canary Island cruise. I'm just booking our flights for our Australian cruise next. So I'm living, what happened was I was almost a workaholic. I was the hardest worker I knew for 30 years. Okay. I didn't know anybody in the world that worked harder than me. I was the hardest worker I knew. And then I lost my best golfing buddy at 56. I lost another golfing buddy at 42 to COVID, lost my dad, lost my mom. I'm sitting in a hotel room somewhere saying, what the heck am I doing? I have enough. And you know what? Very few people are blessed with enough. They want more and more and more and more. They want to fly private and they want to do this. And I just said, look, I got enough for my wife and I to live a great retirement. I'm going to do that. And so I tripled my speaking fee. I knocked out all those events. I used to do 300-400 events a year because I do 2-3 a day. Now last year I did 25. Okay. But I do a lot of virtual. I do stuff like this all the time. But I'm going, it's because none of us know how long we have. That's what you said. Yeah. And I could die tomorrow. And what good is it if I work, and then die? So I'm a work hard, play hard guy. And now I'm the hardest player that I know. I'm playing as hard as I can.
Well, good for you. I think the idea of retirement is changing because we can be a consultant online like you're doing. And kudos to tripling your speaker's fee. Well, that was probably a nervous move. Like, should I do this? But you probably had some second thoughts there.
Well, not really, because again, I feel like I have enough. And so I was just trying to knock out all the little, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I used to do 15 a week sometimes. I mean, I was exhausted at the end of the week, and I made some money, but it was exhausting. And is that what I want to do for the rest of my life? No, I'll still do the big meetings, the Hero of Zero, I'll still do NAIF, I'll still do Gamma, I'll still do MDRT, those types of meetings. But I don't want to do the 3 a day anymore in Pittsburgh when it's snowing and slushy and my pair of shoes. I ruined so many pairs of shoes in the Northeast. It was crazy.